I got cut off with an alarm. In a way that allowed my connection to be sensory based through my fingers. I brought my conscious awareness to my fingers. And I gave myself ample time to settle into the emotionally, neutral place without expectations, right? Letting go of expectations. I also allowed myself to settle, just my body to settle into being fully present, which can take a long time. Give yourself the time for that. I want to say to anybody doing this, it's really important that we give ourselves ample time. I did set a timer so that I knew that if I kind of zoned out, I'd know how long I was there. Yeah, and what else do I want to share? I want to share that I discovered so many things about myself. I discovered areas of numbness, within sexual pleasure areas. I discovered that I have achiness and tenderness in areas, which I've known before, and I guess I've known about the numbness as well, but I discovered where exactly they are located and was able to lovingly just bring my heart presence to those cells and let them know that I'm here. It was very motherly energy I was providing to them, and man, they were responsive, and I held pressure in places of tenderness, and I, for a long period of time, with, again, open heart, no expectations, just holding the frequency of unconditional acceptance, really. And then moved along, didn't wait for them to do anything different or give me a signal, just held probably for 2 to 4 minutes, and then moved along to another region, exploring it with pressure to determine what sensations I would receive in response. And I felt emotions presenting themselves to me, emotions that were familiar, that I could associate with unpleasant events and with pleasant events, with pleasurable sexual encounters. And I learned some interesting things, which is really why I came on here. The universal integration piece for me, I guess, is what I'm bringing in here. I learned that I have put my male partner's pleasure in front of my own, and I assume I would probably do that with a female partner too. I put my partner's sexual pleasure before my own, meaning that I disconnect from my pleasure sensitivity and check in with theirs to see that they're enjoying or in pleasure. And then I use that as my gauge or my guide to then fit my pleasure in under those conditions. And that reminded me of the post I made yesterday, asking ourselves as women, do we put our mission work after our obligations? Do we first appease and complete our partner's expectations or our children's expectations or others' expectations of us first, and then under the, what do I want to say, pacification, approval of their, pleasure and approval and acceptance of us, then we are safe to perform. Only under those conditions are we safe to perform and satisfy ourselves, our mission work, our desires, our creative outlets, etc. I believe that's a lot of us. So I learned that about myself, which was so cool. And it was almost like I realized I have to actually reach and like reach mentally with my mind and my sensation in my body to locate my pleasure and to keep a beat on it. You know, even the ways my body was moving were indicating to me, oh, I do this because I know my partner's in this position at that time. Really fascinating, right? I was alone, and I could still tell that I was engaging not for myself, you know, positionally, so to speak. Anyway, that's just crazy feedback, right? And I used my throat to tone, as I do in a healing space a lot of the time for myself, for my clients. When I'm working with someone's field remotely, often I will tone. It is a way to kind of rearrange the energy. The image I get right now is as if you are making your bed sheets. You know, you have sheets that have been on your bed that are all crinkled up because you've been sleeping on them. And now you want to make the bed. You might lift up the sheets and like parachute them out, or it out, I guess, and just let the air get under it and land it, you know. And that's what toning does for me, in order to get the crinkled energy, the disharmonious energy to harmonize again. And the tones were not beautiful. They were absolutely creating, I was toning from the throat, but bringing that vibrational, I guess, motion down energetically to my spaces, to all of the spaces where there was tension or discomfort. You know, that's womb space, that's coccyx space, that's yoni space, that's cervical space, all spaces, really, truly. And it was really interesting to hear my tones change, to recognize when I had kind of created like a patent channel between my throat down through the heart into those spaces in particular. It was really tactile for me, and I got the feedback loop going. So it was really cool for me to have that. What else do I want to share here? I was guided to work on my coccyx, and you can only imagine what that's like. And the muscles, the musculature around that part of the spine is so strong. They initially, I could feel how rock-like and like tendinous and like cord-like they were, literally, like as if you're touching a tight rope, you know, a tight rope that one would walk on, a thick, tight rope, super taut, right? And then I felt them, as I was connecting with them, immediately become fluid-like and soften and move with me. And it was just a really powerful exploration here. And I don't talk about this very often. I mean, this topic, but I think it's really important that that we do, you know, because this is so clear to me, we heal trauma for others when we heal trauma for ourselves. It's as if while the channels are open and patent, other souls' holdings pass through. That's a really powerful statement. I can't say that I felt that with regard to other energy centers, but there's something special about the woman's womb space as a portal, a gateway, a doorway for release, for passage. That's it.